My name is Ken Miller. I'm the director of Bayliss Public Library. I'd like to welcome everyone to this event. This is a wonderful thing for us to be part of, and I appreciate the fact that the folks from Lake State have let us be part of it. A few thank yous to give. I'd like to thank Julie Brooks Barber and Mary McMinn for organizing this tonight. Thank you all very much. Friends of Bayliss Library for the refreshments. I highly recommend refreshments from the friends, and thank you guys very much. If any of you in the audience would like to help support the library, a Friends membership is very economical. For $10 you can become a Friends member and help us out. There are seats up here, and I don't bite. Well, not often. And I also like to thank our program committee, Nancy Gillette, Debbie Lehman, Maggie Johnson, Ashley Fonger, and Susan James, who's on the camera tonight, for helping make all these kinds of things happen. We're pleased to host this launch party of Border Crossing's second volumes. We really congratulate the editors, Julie, Mary, and Jelena, for a fine book. I had a chance to look through it really fast just before this, and it's really great this time. Lake State's Barnes & Noble bookstore has copies of both volumes out in the lobby for purchase. Please grab one on your way out. Don't forget to pay for it. And at this point, I'd like to turn this over to Julie Brooks Barber and Mary.
Yes, we're going together.
You're going together?
Yes.
Okay. Does your husband know? I know. I'll edit that out.
Thanks. I'm sure he would get a kick out of that. Well, hi everyone. Thank you for coming out. I'm so happy to see the turnout, seeing our editors, seeing readers, seeing some of our contributors. We've got 4 people to read tonight for you. Each person's going to read about 10 minutes, maybe a little less, but we hope you like what they have to offer. So I'm Julie Brooks Barber, in case you don't know who I am.
And I'm Mary McMinn.
We're the editors of Border Crossing. We're bringing on a new person who we'll talk about in a little bit. She worked with us. She worked with the first issue and took a little break, and now she's going to be back with us.
So the first thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to introduce you all to last year's student editors and kind of recognize them for the really hard work that they did on the journal. So we actually have a little something to give them. So do you want to start with poetry, and I'll go ahead with fiction? Okay, so last year, Jane Buckenogga-Picot's not here, but she did a fantastic job last year. Aaron Fader has also graduated and is no longer living here, so he helped us with reading last year. But we do have one editor here from last year, and that's Laura Gamble. So Laura, would you come up? Just for a second, you can go back to your seat. Laura read for us last year, but quickly became an editor because she's just she's a fantastic editor, and she's really, really growing even this year. So we're really, really happy to have her on board. Go ahead. Okay, and we had 2 editors for fiction last year. I can mention Eric Cairns first. He seems to be late or hasn't been able to get here yet, but Eric did a really wonderful job, and he also he graduated, so he's no longer a student at LSSU, but he did a fantastic job, and we were sad that he could not return. And then the other editor for last year was Patrick Brooks, who is here. And Patrick was a really, really wonderful close reader, and we are very sad that he wasn't able to come back this year, but the Compass has stolen him away from us. Are you the editor-in-chief now of the Compass? Yeah, so he got a big gig with the student newspaper, so we really miss you, and thanks for all your hard work. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, I also want to talk about what we're doing right now. We're doing something new this year. We are giving students college credit for editing. We've never done this before, but we were just thinking, you know, a lot of students have spent a lot of time doing this voluntarily. Why not give them college credit? And I know that Northern also does. We found that Northern does the same thing. We're thinking, gosh, you know, that's a really great idea to do that. So I apologize. We haven't done that before for former editors, but you know, but now we're doing it. We also get a chance to train editors to read for a journal, which is invaluable. We get to talk about work not as just submissions for the journal, but as actual poems and stories. We get to really talk about work and have real conversations. So we're really, really lucky to be able to do that. This semester we're reading submissions, we're reading past issues of the journal, and we're having discussions about what works and what doesn't. And for poetry, Laura Gamble is back with us, and we also have Adam Urig, who is going to read for us tonight. So Adam and Laura, if you would stand up together, we can kind of give you a round of applause because you guys are doing such great work.
And then we're lucky to have two really great burgeoning editors and readers in fiction. Janessa Stutz, could you stand up please? And John Keller. Both of them are really impressing us with their attention to detail, and as we go through and read submissions in both poetry and fiction, it's been a pleasure to work with everybody and be a part of these wonderful conversations as we read submissions.
But we also noticed that not only are these students becoming better readers, they're becoming better writers. And I think that is one of the things that's very, very important about just having this class, is that it's a learning experience for us, but also as well as the students, because I noticed that they're starting to grow in other ways. So it's really an invaluable experience for all of us. And they'll be able to then go on in the spring and read submissions and help us make decisions for our third issue, which we're even more excited about than our second issue. So it'll grow and it'll grow and it'll grow. But now we want to kind of give some attention to someone who's coming back to us, Jelena Rose, who's coming back as nonfiction editor in the spring. We're really, really glad to have her back because she's just a fantastic reader, and it'll be really nice to have another eye. So we're glad to have you back. And also we want to thank Maureen Mosley for, we want to get onto the good stuff now. We're doing, and there's Jane. Jane, come up here.
It's not like being blindsided.
Hi everybody.
Guess who just came from work?
Jane read for our second issue last year, and we have a certificate for you.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And we have a copy for you of the second issue around here somewhere, so we'll get it to you. But we really want to thank you for all your hard work last year.
Aww, that's cool. Thanks.
And now we want to talk about, now it's time to celebrate the second issue. So we want to talk about the cover art. We really, we're sorry that, our cover artist couldn't be here. She's graduated. We had some trouble getting in touch with her. But we do have a local artist here on display, Daisy Fentiman. She's in the issue. To your left is the piece that appears in our journal, and then the other two pieces are extra pieces that she's sharing with us. If you are interested, I can get names. I apologize if there's no cards telling you what the names are. This is called Spirit Guide, but the rest of them I'm really not sure. So if you are interested in her work, let us know, and we have ways to get in touch with her so you can find out what those are. But we wanted to thank Maureen Mosley for judging this contest. We picked 3 finalists, and she chose in order which ones that she wanted. And I'd like to give her a chance to come up and talk about why she chose what she chose. If you're willing. If you're willing.
Sure, off the cuff and very brief.
Yes,
Will that do?
Yes, please.
This I did not expect.
Apparently that's the name of the game.
But I came because I love arts, and I love arts across the border. The words that make visuals, much like music makes visuals and is attached to emotions. And my field is visual, and I'm color and line and images. But they all create the same effect. They all communicate the same effect. And that's where I come from as an artist. And that's when Julie gave me the 3, that's why I chose the cover piece, was because I can see the image, I can see the use of line, and I can get technical and say, you know, go into value and color and hue and everything like this. But the immediate thing that arts always will do to you is it'll grab your heart, it'll grab your mind. And that's what this one did for me. So that's what became my choice.
Thank you. I do like hearing you talk about what moves you, and I think that for all of us, I mean, even as editors, you know, that it is about what moves us.
Oh yeah, words are wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and it is, I think, for a lot of us, for editors, it is about what moves us, you know, what we like, and what really speaks to us from the page, and then we have decisions to make from that, and sometimes we're moved by things that don't generally move us completely, you know, they still need development, but we can see things happening. So I think that's really the beauty of all of this, is that we're seeing things happening on the page or, you know, within the line. So we're ready to hear some people read, I think. And we're going to start with, I'm going to introduce each of the readers. We're going to start with Phil Dansdale, who's one of our own. You know, he's one of our Sault Sainte Marie residents. And I guess I'm a little happy that his bio is so short, but I'm just going to read what's in here. Phil Dansdale enjoys the beauties and challenges of living in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And without further ado, I'm going to... There's water down here if you need it, okay?
Good evening. Congratulations on a wonderful journal. The poem I'm going to read, which is in the journal, is called Handshake. My father's hand shakes as he reaches for mine. Mirror images of long, wrinkled fingers, skin loosening over yellowed bones, riddle of dark hair and hard nail. Our hands slide across the hush, veins like blue highways, metal in faded joys and regret. His salesman's hands fluttered over expense accounts in dawn shadows. Mine thumb Thoreau's dark journals. Mine fidget with freshman essays. I remember his hands, young and fisty in my face, his eyes laughing the choice. Which do you want, son? 6 months in the hospital or sudden death? Now, our palms whisper oils and salts, our fingers print old silences. Lifelines and love lines intersect, jump crusty time for the last time, bonding old wrongs. Halloween has just ended, so I'm going to read a Halloween poem. It's called Masks. In the beginning, we are afraid of love. At the end, we fear death. Unmasked twice in our earthy passage, we spend the interval disguising and costuming truth like pallid chameleons blindly crawling from slime to mire. All Hallows Eve, and the half-moon sails overhead, her dark side cloaked in starlight. Headless and shapeless, bloody torsos perch on stone walls, giant straw men hang upside down in oak trees. Grotesque and oafish, sexless creatures straddle infernal mailboxes, all carving the pumpkin fear deep and wide. It is sweet October rot as I prepare the ritual. Snickers and M&Ms for the vampires and ghouls, gagas and fools who approach my door. The cyberpunks and freakish lumps of cancerous stumps shout and yawn, clogging my lawn with outstretched claws, their masks sliding across fine young flesh. Fresh from lectures about warm feet and cars in the street, they mumble the required trick or treat into their cavernous bags. I gladly contribute to the dread, dropping a chocolate votive into each sack, my ancient clotting mask settling in for another opaque year, as they chant their callow masks into seamless solidity. I gaze over their sweet shadowed heads and see the true dead. They gather in whispered circles, aching for light. Unasked, unmasked, mutely they approach behind the chattering, scattering children. The young wives, one blonde, one brunette, both dead of cancer, husband their cries and whispers. The teachers advance from the other side, lectures cut short, blurred outlines and notes fluttering, pleading for one more session. The stillborn brother, unformed, unscathed by life, whimpers starkly of unstroked skin. The old ones gather behind, wise, weary, asking nothing, enduring the gloom. Patient and powerful in their sacramental flow. A frenzied mask, they crowd the porch, tumbling the sputtering pumpkin, trampling the new grass, clattering against the closing door. October's chill descends upon their mutterings. An eddy of nagging leaves whirls over the ravine, and when I open the door again, the dead are gone, ground fog rising into the trees. I drift into All Souls Day in a guise called sleep. Gaping through my fingers at the plaguing questions, I cement my mass with each repetition of what appalls me most. Is it the death of love or the love of death that gives such chilling pause? One more poem called Lilacs. I don't know if you've noticed in Sault Sainte Marie, there are an awful lot of lilac bushes, lilac trees, and they seem to be at their peak right around Mother's Day. So it's kind of a convenient coincidence, I guess. The poem is called Lilacs. The trillium are gone from the ravine. Virgin ghost flowers seen once in passing morning, forgotten at dusk. But the lilacs rise like royalty, lording it over the power canal, purple pockets in Little Italy, softening north corners of shotgun houses. When you had babies, you slept fitfully, baby cacophony down the night-lit hallway of 2 a.m. feedings, rocking a drowse of visions lost. Now, your sleep is heavy when it finally comes, dreamless, still fitful, laden with off-rhymes and skewed I-ams. So here's your solution. At day's end, walk past the peonies and ruby throats to the big porch. Go to the corner where the ancient upswept lilac draws you close, knocks you back with its violet cradle scent. Inhale its untrimmed warming spell 3 times, and your sleep will coil and echo like its tight curls. Give in to deep lavender slumber, and you will dream what you could never dream, for you are a different mother, blessed by your own lilac lullaby. Thank you.
I really do love hearing poems that are set in Sault Sainte Marie. I really hunger for those sorts of things. Thank you for sharing those with us. And speaking of poems that are set in Sault Sainte Marie, our next reader is Adam Urig, who lives in Sault Sainte Marie, Michigan, where he attends Lake Superior State as an English major. And that's what we have in the back of our journal. But to say more about Adam, I mean, there's a lot more to say about Adam, but I'm kind of going to let his poem speak for you. So Adam, if you'll come on up.
I'd just like to say how much of an honor really it is that my work was even considered in the first place to be read or even published. I mean, it was, the shock has yet to even hit me, but I react slow to a lot of things, so we're waiting on that. All right, class, if you could turn to page 80. The sounds of February. The snow, a smooth violet, squeaked like styrofoam beneath our boots. We waited for the festival, yawning and shivering. The oily, blazing sun and aimless snowflakes were all that showed up that morning. Was it worse to hear and feel that wind cut through the pines as we waited for nothing? Or was it worse to realize that we no longer had anything to talk about? That was that one. I was asked to somehow fill in a 10-minute void. That's going to be possible. Everything I wrote is very short, so we just find maybe 2 of them. This next one's called Farmland Education. Porn magazines, moist and warped from the morning's dew, hidden inside a broken down tractor. There in the vast and stony field, our fingers smelling of earth and sticky from milkweed, cautiously turned each page in silent awe. Here. It's a little haiku. These are overdone, but I thought it would be fun to write. Spiderweb. To hear you is like catching a single strand of web across the face. So, there we have it. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Adam. You guys keep an eye on him. Because you're going to be seeing good things from him. I know you will. Our last reader from the second issue, and we're still waiting for, may have someone from the first issue coming in a little bit, but Eric Gitsinski, who I think needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. He teaches at Lake Superior State University, and his poems have appeared in a number of small journals, and we're really happy to have him. He was in our first issue, and he's in our second issue as well. So Eric, if you'll come on up.
Nice job, Phil. Nice job, Adam. The one that's in the journal, What I Get Now. The pain is not so bad that I can't stand it, more like a crumb horn, a reedy minor drone in the tune. You could say it makes it interesting, medievally, ruined, tragic. But I liked it better when it was only a simple whistle on a barefoot road dreaming of grown-up. What I get now is waking from a full bladder, having slept off whatever was yesterday, too drunk, too disappointed, lost, ashamed. In the dark silence after the flush, I get to think, today I can give it another go and get it right, or righter, maybe. So far I haven't, but so far I'm still here as the world strobes and the dawn dogs bark, and the garbage truck grinds by, hopefully. This is called Wawash Keshkiwis, which is Ojibwe for the deer hunt. Wawashkish is the word for deer. It's about that time. Wawashkish, these apples are for you, red on the white snow. Their cider tang will find you in the gray woods. There is a story how a snake offered an apple so sweet, so cold, whose bite was sorrow. I will lie on my belly in the bush, waiting for your hunger. And if my aim is true, you'll never know. This one's called Matan. In the name of the mother, stepfather, kids, dogs, cats, whatever it is moving in the corner of the eye in the early gray underbrush, all the ships at sea, things that go bump in the night. And this day, Tuesday, which is garbage day, I lift a blistering cup of microwave instant coffee made with miracle granules and a palm full of magic beans, the blue and white one, the yellow one with the red stripe, the pink tablets and green caplets. Grant that I don't kill somebody or myself for all the right reasons or otherwise. Keep off the hurricanes, earthquakes, and the electronic incessance of crime and misery. Let not the wolves of my past overtake me, or the crow of the future fly out of sight over the spruce tops with a whisper of sandpaper forever and ever. Amen. This one's called Fool's Gold. Pyrite looks like a shiny gold vein in quartz. It's used, other than to mock miners, in cheap Victorian jewelry and by the ton somehow, rendered to make sulfuric acid. Its real value is for us fools, seeing it gleam in the shovel in the glorious hours and days before you take it to town to be assayed when you're a king. Last is a poem called Jim. At the yard sale, anxious and bewildered, you were tied to a chain link fence by a cardboard sign scrawled Beagle Dog. I asked the lady how much, 20. Then I asked her your name, Jimbo. I don't know why, but maybe I do. It's the last thing I needed. I took out my wallet, the few bills for gas, the nightly pint, a dry, hungry week to payday. Come on, James, I said, and reached down. You flinched and splayed, cowering. So it is when the hand of mercy descends to smooth our hair and take us home for next to nothing a bargain. We piss ourselves and flatten for the usual fist. Thank you.
Well, we were hoping to have one more, but it doesn't look like that person is going to show, though maybe next time we'll invite the reader the next time. But thank you so much for coming out. Have some snacks. Stick around if you have questions for the editors or any of our, whether it be student editors or myself and Mary and Jelena. Feel free to talk to us about the experience. You know, feel free to talk if you have any questions about the journal at all. Feel free to ask us. We also are now taking submissions until now our extended date of January 15th. We're taking submissions of poetry, nonfiction, and fiction. And if you go to our website, which is just lssu.edu/BC for border crossing, then you can submit there, and we have like an online submission manager. We're also taking art again until what, February
15th this year, yeah.
And if you know any artists who might be interested, they need to either be from the UP or from Ontario. So we're kind of widening where we'll take art from Canada. So, but it's mostly local. We want local. We want to keep it regional as much as possible, so people can have a place to actually have their work published. But our theme this year is fire. So if you know anyone who likes that theme, who is an artist, by all means, you know, send them to our webpage. Ask them to upload their work. It does need to be a digital reproduction so that we can print it in a black and white journal. So yeah, if you have any questions for us, just come up and talk to us. And we're so glad that you came out tonight. Thanks a bunch.